인도의 광활한 남동부주의 타밀나두에 사는 타밀 무슬림들은 힌두 지역에서 인구의 5.5%를 구성하고 있습니다. 그들 가운데는 타밀어를 말하는 강력한 기독교 소수 공동체가 있고 타밀 무슬림들은 스리랑카 근처에 살고 있습니다. 그들은 다양한 집단이지만 타밀어라는 공통 언어에 의하여 구별되고 있습니다. 타밀 무슬림 공동체의 몇몇 구성원들은 타밀 여성과 아랍 무역상들의 혼혈족입니다. 타밀 무슬림들은 평화를 사랑하고 일반적으로 힌두 이웃들과 잘 지내고 있습니다. 크리스천들은 그들의 공동체 내에서 항상 배신자로 간주되고 있기 때문에 복음 전도가 쉽지 않습니다. 크리스천들이 무슬림 지도자들과 우호적인 관계를 맺게 하시고 이들을 통해 전도의 문이 열리도록 기도합시다. 사람들은 다르지족을 봉제업자 또는 염색업자라고 부릅니다. 다르지인의 대부분이 힌두인들이지만 약 100만 명 정도는 무슬림들입니다. 그들의 이름은 바느질을 의미하는 페르시아어의 다르잔에서 온 것입니다. 오늘날 그들은 교사, 디자이너, 그리고 다른 전문가가 되는 교육의 혜택을 누리고 있습니다. 다르지족 가운데 그동안 복음 전도는 진전이 없었습니다. 이들은 우르두어를 사용하고 있으며 그들의 언어로 된 성경 번역본과 예수 영화와 복음 음반이 있습니다. 무슬림 다르지인들이 복음의 메시지를 듣거나 영화와 음악을 들을 때에 이들의 마음이 열리도록 기도합시다. 많은 도비인들이 전통적인 직업을 유지하고 있지만 북부 인도와 네팔에서는 다수의 도비인들이 정부 서비스나 농업 분야에 종사하고 있습니다. 다수가 힌두교도이지만 그들 가운데 무슬림들이 존재합니다. 교육 여하에 상관없이 도비인들은 불가촉 천민으로 간주됩니다. 도비 무슬림들은 문맹률이 높진 않지만 아직 교육 수준은 열악하여 심지어 어린이들조차도 가족의 생계를 돕기 위해 일하고 있습니다. 여성들은 사회적 지위가 낮고 가족의 재산에 대한 어떠한 권리도 없습니다. 가족들이 결혼을 결정하고 남자아이는 16살, 여자아이는 14살에 결혼합니다. 무슬림 도비인들의 언어로 된 복음의 도구들은 있으나 사역자는 거의 없습니다. 무슬림 도비인 가운데 사랑과 지혜를 가진 사역자를 보내주시기를 기도합시다. 북한에서 9월과 10월은 영적으로 가장 중요한 달이라고 할 수 있습니다. 조선민주주의 인민공화국이라는 나라를 세운 9월 9일 건국절과 조선노동당을 창립한 10월 10일이 있기 때문입니다. 북한이라는 나라를 형성해온 뿌리와 정신이 태동한 달이라고 볼 수 있습니다. 하지만 바야흐로 지금은 남북을 하나님께서 둘이 아닌 하나로 만들어가는 시대에 우리는 살고 있습니다. 이방인과 유대인의 하나됨을 이루기 위해서 오신 예수 그리스도의 십자가가 우리 민족을 하나로 싸매는 뿌리가 되고 정신이 될 수 있도록 간절히 기도합시다. 하나님께서 원래 빚으셨던 하나로 회복되어 마지막 때에 귀하게 쓰임받는 이 민족 될 수 있도록 간절히 기도합시다.
I'm an unlikely person to believe in Jesus. I grew up going to my grandparents' home and seeing pictures of relative after relative that had died at the hands of Hitler, and in the Jewish mindset, they had died at the hands of Christians. And I felt like Jesus and Christianity was my enemy. I was raised in a traditional Jewish home in New York City. I was bar mitzvahed at 13, went to synagogue Friday and Saturday. I love Jewish history. I love reading the Jewish Bible. I love being Jewish, but I wasn't really sure about the religion. And so I ended up going to college and ended up dropping out of college. And then my friend Ephraim Goldstein and I went all the way to the West Coast. Ephraim and I joined his brother, Baruch, and his friend, Jan Moskowitz. And so it's the Goldstein, Moskowitz, and Glazer. Sounds like a law firm. But we were all there in San Francisco, and we built a houseboat. All I can say is that it floated, but it wasn't pretty. And we built it with drug money. I'm contracted with this guy to buy some marijuana. Unfortunately, he wasn't really going to buy the marijuana, he was going to steal it. He and his friends had sawed-off shotguns and handguns, and they tied us up. My whole life was in front of my eyes. One guy said, just kill him, and the other guy said, no, let's just torch the place, let's just burn it down. And I'm just sitting there with my hands tied and feeling the shotgun saying, I can't believe that I was willing to die for just a few $100s. One of our friends who dropped out of college with us moved to California for a little while, and then she disappeared. And during the time she disappeared, we kind of tore down the houseboat, moved into San Francisco, and one day she appeared. She kept telling us that she had found God and that she had found Jesus and that the end of the world was coming. And I thought she was nuts. I thought she was Meshuggah. Ephraim kind of listened to her and, oh, that sounds pretty good. So the next thing I know, they both went up to Oregon, and I felt because I was raised a more traditional Jew that I could help them. So I went up to this Christian commune in Coos Bay, Oregon. I was gearing up for a fight, but they just wanted to be nice and smile all the time, so I didn't trust them at all. We were sitting at the table, about 20, 25 people, country food, blackberry cobbler baking in the oven. Then all of a sudden, everybody kind of like fell asleep. Their heads went down. And then they all started holding hands. And I thought that was the strangest thing in the world. I thought it was going to be a seance. The old guy who was running the place, who kind of looked between an Amish guy and a Hasidic guy with a long beard. He just began talking up into thin air. For a minute, I thought he was talking to me, but I realized when he called me Lord that it wasn't me. I'd never heard anybody pray as if they were actually talking to God, and it was just striking for me. You know, I'd been belligerent, I'd been angry, and then all of a sudden, everything was kind of melting away because I sensed this presence in the room, and I began feeling smaller and smaller and smaller. You could almost touch it. It was palpable, this presence. And if there's one thing I never experienced growing up in a more religious Jewish home, was this intimacy, this personal contact and relationship with God. And I just knew that this was the presence of God, and that changed me. Well, I got back from Oregon, and all I could think about was God and about Jesus. I said, God, if you're really there, show me. I was working in the redwood forest, and one night, I needed to make a phone call. I went down to the phone booth, and I was kind of staring at the redwood trees because I'm very fidgety. And one of these moonbeams just kind of fell on the ledge where there should have been a phone book, and it was almost like it was glowing. And there, right there on that ledge of the phone booth was a little book. I looked through it, and it said Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. I honestly didn't know who these people were, and I started looking at it, and there in small print it said Modern English Version of the New Testament. I'd asked God if he was real and how to get to him. Now I'm standing there with the New Testament glowing in the moonlight. I mean, what would you do? So I stole it. Well, I knew that God had left that New Testament there for me. And so I picked it up and began reading it, and I read it over the next few days. I read almost the whole thing. And, you know, I still expected Christians to be anti-Semitic and Jesus to be sort of the fountain of anti-Semitism. And the more I read, I realized Jesus was actually Jewish. And I knew that he was the Messiah that our people were waiting for, that I was waiting for. One of the things I loved the most about the New Testament was the way Jesus told stories. I felt like he was a street-smart New Yorker. I mean, he never answered a question simply. He always got to the heart of the matter. And, you know, you always saw pictures of Jesus on the cross, and he always looked so helpless, you know. But I met a very strong, powerful Jesus in the New Testament, and I was very drawn to him. When I accepted Jesus, I was looking for the truth, and I knew that he was the truth. But I don't think I was looking for the truth about myself. I remember the day I realized I had sold drugs to teenagers. I was horrified at my own soul. I don't think I understood enough about my own sin. I just began weeping and repenting and asking God to forgive me. And then it took me a while, really, to even feel that God had forgiven me. I realized that believing in Jesus involved believing that he died for my sin. And throughout the years, I've just discovered that my life is the best way to demonstrate to my family and friends that I love them, I love God, and I love my people.
Thank you for the cross.